Good morning, everybody. Today we have gathered here to discuss the revised syllabus for MCOM. We have semester 3 and semester 4. Semester 4 under accounting as a specialization. We have recent advances in accounting, auditing and taxation as one of the subject for semester 4, and the other is project work. There are around 100 different topics given under this subject 4 for the project work. We will now just have an idea of the revised syllabus for recent advances in accounting. We all know that the revision of syllabus takes place once in 5 years, and within these 5 years there are a lot of changes which are taking place. There are many advancements which are taking place, and we need to update those. The passing of students, especially the postgraduates, need to know the latest advances which are taking place in the specialization. So, considering these facts, the revised syllabus has been structured in such a manner so that an idea about the recent developments, recent advances and recent trends which are taking place in accounting have been included appropriately. So let's understand the new syllabus. The objective being, we want the students to be updated with the latest advances and trends which are taking place all around the world. The students who are getting graduated and post-graduated are preparing for their careers, and this course, post-graduation MCOM, will be helpful for their entire life and career thereafter. So around 30 to 40 years next, what preparedness needs to be done among the students can be only through this specific subject, recent advances in accounting. In most of the other subjects, it is theoretical. The chapters or the units and the syllabus which is there, it is very specific. But this specific subject called recent advances in accounting, we usually try to bring in the latest, and therefore this year, or maybe this revision in syllabus, almost all the 4 chapters or units which have been divided have some changes in it. So let's see what are the 4 units which we have for this semester 4. So before we go to the main syllabus, let us first understand the need and purpose of accounting. Accounting as such the need arose not only after the independence, but hundreds of years before that, in the kingdoms in the past, the need for accounting arose. When there were kings and queens rulers, they had their ministers to take care of all the welfare activities which they need to offer to their citizens or people, and all this was taking place through a system. The ruler or the king or the queen were not aware of what is happening. They mostly relied on the stewards or the ministers to keep a check on whether things are happening properly, to keep a fix on what the actual transactions are happening. And for all these purposes, accounting started way back from 1400. At that particular point of time, the number of transactions which were there were very few. Trade started happening, and all the transactions of trade need to be recorded for retrieval and many other purposes, and so the need for accounting arose. Governments were formed, and government, always we are all aware of the budgets. Government needs revenue, and this revenue has to be spent in the form of expenses, and a proper summary of all these things need to be kept, and therefore the accounting started when the governments came in. Now the main source of revenue for these governments was through taxes. How were these taxes levied? Taxes were levied on many things, mainly on trade. Taxes were levied in the form of sales tax, imports, customs duty, manufacturing, and so on. The tax liability had to be calculated on certain basis. What would be the base, and what would be the reliability, and therefore the need for accounting arose. Slowly, small businesses grew into large businesses, and this is how the need for accounting increased. In past few decades, computers contributed a lot in the process of accounting. In the beginning, manual accounting was done, and thereafter computers were introduced. Computerized accounting was done. To make the work more easy, softwares were introduced for specific businesses, customized softwares. And now we have many other advancements in computerized accounting. Now this subject, the first unit includes the technology based changes which are taking place in accounting, auditing, and taxation. So the first unit includes these 5 topics. The first is cloud accounting. It refers to a third party with whom the accounts are maintained. It becomes very easy for the stakeholders, for the users of the accounts, to view, refer, alter, change the accounts from anywhere, anytime, through any instrument. Maybe it is a mobile, it is a fixed computer or a laptop or a tablet, and so on. The next topic which we have included is blockchain accounting. Accounting has a very major drawback. When a trader, management, or an accountant or an employee wants to make some changes, he may edit it, he may replace it, even when there is computerized accounting. there are ways in which it may not be disclosed, or on verification, the fact that a particular transaction was revised may not be identified. Now, to overcome this problem, a special type of accounting called blockchain accounting. So blockchain is a type of technological system in which the transactions are between a few parties, and all these parties, when a transaction takes place, come to know about the transaction if any other additional transaction takes place, and that is also added into this blockchain. There is no possibility of retrieving or going back on revising. So this is how accounting is going to transform into blockchain accounting. Big data, or the role of big data in accounting. See, as we have been discussing, we have been noticing small businesses are slowly getting transformed into big businesses. A lot of data needs to be stored. Practical difficulty arises even among the big companies, even if they have their own computerized system, if they have their own websites, their servers, the maintenance cost is too high. And therefore, a third party maintains the data. And this is where the role of big data comes in for the purpose of accounting. As we have been witnessing, there is a transformation from manual accounting to automated accounting, wherein we are making use of computerized programs. Let me give a few examples where accounting as such need not be done. Once a sale is done, the invoice is automatically generated and the transaction is automatically recorded. An accountant is not required to record the transaction. This is a small example of automated accounting process. So when organizations have advanced softwares, which is a multi-purpose software, not restricted only to the function of accounting. Accounting takes place automatically whenever a transaction takes place. Maybe it is a purchase order, maybe it is employing, recruiting people, selecting people, making payments to the staff, announcing bonuses, distributing dividend to the shareholders, and so on. For all the transactions, separate entries need not be done. Once the actual transaction is automated, when it takes place, automatically the required record in terms of value, in terms of money, is done. And this is what we call as automated accounting process. So this topic also has been included. Artificial intelligence these days plays a very big role in accounting. This is also an additional topic which has been included. Accounting is vast. In big companies, it comprises of many transactions. It is very difficult to identify, locate few errors or mistakes or frauds. This is where artificial intelligence comes into picture. So all this was included in the first unit. Second unit is restricted to various tax reforms in India. In this chapter or unit, we have included three main topics. The first is goods and service tax reforms, GST, we all know. From 2016 onwards, it has implemented. But since 2006 onwards, goods and service tax reforms have been taking place continuously. So how goods and service tax was implemented? What are the new reforms which have taken place? All those have been included in this subtopic called goods and service tax reforms. The next huge reform which has taken place is among the corporates. Just to name a few, when it comes to income tax, the highest rate of tax or the highest slab of tax which was paid was by the corporates. It was 30% plus surcharge and plus additional cess, which has now been reduced or through these tax reforms in the form of at 22% plus surcharge and education cess, additional cesses. And for new firms, MSMEs, it is just 15%, which is a huge reform. And these reforms are continuous in nature. So maybe in the next 5 years also, every year or in every specific span of time, a little change may be done, and all these will be accordingly included under this subtopic. The last topic is on the personal tax reforms. Under personal tax, we have two: wealth tax and income tax. As we know, every budget, every year in the month of February, the finance minister makes some changes, makes some announcements, and all those will be included in the personal tax reforms. The major changes which are taking place will be included over here. So this was unit 2. We now move on to unit 3, which is specifically a few topics which are related to the corporates. Those few topics have been chosen, though there were many topics previously, but these 4 topics have been chosen under this unit. The first is employee stock option accounting. In addition to rewarding the employees regularly, the new way of encouraging and motivating employees to work better and perform better is by way of making them as the owners of the organization. People working in corporates, employees, are offered shares, and these shares are optional at their ease. Usually when companies issue shares, there is a limited period of time for which they issue the shares, but under ESOP, employees are offered these shares not for a small span of time, but this span of time increases up to, say, maximum up to 3 years. They have a time span of minimum 6 months to 3 years. So the problem is whether this would be considered as a revenue expenditure or a capital expenditure. So all this is included in what we call as ESOP accounting. The next topic is intellectual property rights accounting. Now this is the latest advancement which is taking place world over. Human beings and the brain which works, the creativity which works, the value of human beings is based on the intellectual property. So how this intellectual property needs to be accounted, this also has been included for accounting under corporates. The next is environmental accounting. We all know, though it is related to commerce, whenever there is growth, whenever there is production, there is pollution also. There needs to be a balance between the pollution which is taking place and the value addition or the profits which are taking place. We need to consider environment. We need to equate and identify how much of pollution will be okay along with the growth, profits and so on. And therefore environmental accounting also has been included for the corporates. One major area of accounting which needs to be implemented by all the organizations is human resource accounting. Among all the assets, without a resource called human being, all the resources are worthless or useless. Capital, money or fixed assets cannot generate income on their own. It is specifically because of a very valuable resource called human. No organization prepares a balance sheet or identifies the value of human beings. So just to have an understanding of how important human resource needs to be there, human resource accounting also has been included in this unit. The final unit is on emerging trends in accounting. Only 4 topics have been included. The first topic is lean accounting. Most of the organizations, as we all are aware of best practices taking place. All colleges would want to try to imbibe and copy the best practices or include those best practices. Similarly, lean accounting also refers in the same type of meaning. Whatever best practices are taking place in terms of accounting, in terms of business transactions, in terms of processes, system, those need to be adopted by other organizations also. These are performance based and this has been included. The next topic is on forensic accounting. Many frauds, errors and mistakes keep taking place, but to identify whether it is an error or mistake or an intentional fraud, the need for this forensic accounting is increasing day by day, and therefore students need to know what is forensic accounting. Next we have creative accounting. It is quite easy for the organizations to make use of the loopholes in the accounting standards and based on that make some window dressings and inflate and improve the accounts. All this is included in our creative accounting. Students need to know about this, and this also has been included. And the last topic is on inflation accounting. Businesses which we see these days have been established way back, and a few are hundreds of years old. When we compare the balance sheets or the actual values of their assets, which was at the time of inception. Usually in accounting we follow the historical cost basis, and when we compare such values, it does not give a meaningful idea of the current value, and therefore to identify what is the equivalent current value of the transactions which have taken place previously, inflation accounting is also required. So these were some of the topics which were included for the current syllabus. With this we come to an end. So this subject has been restricted to these 4 units and around maximum of around 16 to 17 subtopics. So thank you for patient listening.